So later this year, an all-new immersive dining experience called Space 220 is going to be opening at Epcot. And since today's date is February the 20th, I thought that right now is the perfect time to talk about everything that we know so far about Space 220 on 220 up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, and be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit the notification bell so therefore you always receive an update, and now let's just get straight into it. As amongst all of the changes and new additions coming to Epcot soon, the one project that has been relatively overlooked in my opinion is the Space 220 restaurant. As this project has been quietly progressing along with its construction throughout 2018 and 2019 to the point where at the beginning of 2020 it was pretty much complete, awaiting its grand opening. However, for the obvious circumstantial factors relating to the pandemic, the opening date had to be pushed back to 2021. But now let's talk about the concept itself. As if I were to call this simply just another restaurant, then I would be drastically underselling what this really is. And that's because despite Space 220 joining alongside Epcot's other unique dining experiences, such as Garden Grill at the Land Pavilion, the San Angel Inn at the Mexico Pavilion, and Coral Reef at the Seas of Nemo and Friends, Space 220 is going to be an ultra-immersive dining environment that will be more akin to that of Be Our Guest restaurant at the Magic Kingdom, or even Ogre's Cantina at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. As you see with Space 220, this is going to be an out-of-this-world dining venue like no other. And yes, I'm sure that's soon to become a very cliché tagline that Disney will use over and over again in all of the marketing material, but it's also an accurate description of what Imagineering is aiming to deliver. So to begin with, let's talk about location, as this restaurant is located in between Mission Space and Test Track, with its entrance to be right next to where the FastPass entrance is for Mission Space. And as we can see here, the sign for the Space 220 restaurant is on the right hand side of the Mission Space Pavilion, indicating that this area here will be the new entrance and queue for this restaurant. Then just beyond these construction walls is the previously unused sponsor lounge for Mission Space, with its glass panelled exterior. And this will become the new entrance foyer and front of house for Space 220 before guests then enter this themed space elevator and blast off 220 statute miles above Earth's surface, which if you're wondering, that's where the 220 part of the name is derived from. And then in story terms, we're going to be docking with the Centauri space station that is orbiting Earth. However, this space elevator will not actually be an actual elevator taking you physically to another floor, like the themed elevators at World Trade Center 1 or the Empire State Building. But instead, it will be a standing simulator that will feel like you are ascending 220 miles above the surface, similar to the elevator pre-show from Escape from Gringotts at Universal Studios. And the entire time you'll get an incredible digital view using infinity display projection dome technology that will create an infinite depth illusion of staring through a glass bottom window as we blast off from Florida to dock with the space station. And then it's upon arrival when we're guided to our table that we'll pass what has been named as the Grow Zone, which will be a spinning wall of produce that supposedly mimics Earth's gravity and represents some of the fresh ingredients used by the restaurant's culinary team. But of course, the main attraction of this restaurant is the gigantic 250-foot wraparound window out into a vista of space. And this will most likely be using an advanced form of collimated display technology to create a glassless 3D effect through the use of parallax and multi-plane projection, thus producing a real sense of depth. As also this technology is to be featured to create the space windows on the main bridge within the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, whereas the cabin windows are much smaller and will most likely use the infinity display technology from the space elevator previously mentioned. And because the layout of this restaurant has upper and lower tiers, it means that every seat will have incredible celestial views orbiting Earth, with the restaurant's capacity being 376 seats for table service dining and 16 seats available at the bar. And then with regards to the culinary side of things, despite Space 220 being designed and developed by Imagineering, the operation of the restaurant will be handled by the third-party Patina Restaurant Group, that also operate Via Napoli at Epcot and Morimoto Asia and Mario and Enzo's at Disney Springs. and it's been stated that the menu will consist of internationally inspired cuisine and dishes from all over the world, with more than 1,000 bottles of the world's finest wines and a wide selection of craft beer. And of course there'll be a few space-themed offerings as well. And in addition to all of this, the restaurant servers and cast members will be from all over the world, much like how the International Space Station has different representatives from various countries take turns orbiting for 6 months at a time. And so this mix of science and technology and cultural diversity, in many ways, is the perfectly themed immersive restaurant for Epcot. So now the last question that I guess we all have is, when is this restaurant expected to open? As originally this restaurant had an official estimated opening date in late fall 2019, which then became early 2020, and well, we all know what happened then, as the pandemic not only caused construction delays, as apparently there needed to be a replacement to a glass pane that cracked when being installed, but also, because this will be operated by the Patina Group, the decision was made to delay the opening so that it won't have to operate at reduced capacity for too long. And from what I've been hearing, the Patina Group is aiming at an early summer opening for Space 220, potentially as early as May, but definitely by late summer. So hopefully we'll all be able to experience this out-of-this-world restaurant at Walt Disney World later this year. But now, it's over to you, Waltoneers, as I would like to know what are your thoughts and opinions about the Space 220 restaurant coming to Epcot, and also if you could create another ultra-immersive dining experience like Space 220 and bring it to any other Disney park around the world, then what would it be themed to and why? And so that's it for today, so be sure to go and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit that notification bell so therefore that way you always receive an update whenever I release new videos. And also, if you've enjoyed today's video, then be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon. Yeah, I know that intro is a little bit lame. 220 on 220. Okay, let's do it again. So...